For the men's 200 metres. That information has just been handed to me. So here is McCartney. This is 3 metres and 80, her second attempt. Very nice jump there, gives the bar a good rattle. So let's see who'll be next to go. Fiona Hockey then with her third attempt at this same height of 380. So those who have qualified for the men's 200 metre final: Nicholas Price of Staffordshire, Shamar Baldazar of St Mary's, Ben Parris of Loughborough, Ben Wells of Gloucestershire, Jonah Efaloka of East London, and Andrew Morgan Harrison of Hull. So that final is coming up at 3:10. So Fiona Hockey unable to make it and didn't clear the bar at all. Not quite enough height. So Thomas, bronze medal in the long jump. Simeonova of Brunel, the silver, and Jado Dowder is the BUCS champion in the long jump. So the medal ceremony now for the women's 3,000 metres. A great battle. It was a huge group of all but 2 athletes in the field, a group of 10, and gradually whittled down. Grace Carson led for a while but had Bryony Gunn right on her shoulder. So Carson for Loughborough gets the bronze. Cooper of Cardiff gets the silver. Overtook 2 people down the home straight right at the end of 15 laps of racing. And the gold medalist and BUCS champion for Worcester. Proud moment for the university. That isn't a household name at BUCS competition, so it's good to have lots of different champions, and they have Bryony Gunn on the top step of the podium there, the women's 3,000 metre champion here in Sheffield. Now the men's final will take place soon. We'll try and keep you up to date with the field events as best we can also. So in this men's 3,000 metre final, another tough one to call, another set of athletes who started their campaign yesterday, and there were as many as 3 heats. We have Mark Pearce then of Kiel, 8 minutes 7:45, his lifetime best. 8:19 yesterday, 6th of the BUCS Cross Country Championships and the British University's 10,000 metre champion in 2016. Used to represent Birmingham, making his BUCS debut in 2015. Jake Smith of Cardiff Met, another that impressed in the preliminary round. The bronze medalist last year. Tom Mortimer of Loughborough, someone who has experience of cross-country competitions for Great Britain. 8:18.78 his best. Just outside the top 30 at the 2018 European Cross-Country Championships in the under-20 race. Also Andrew Smith of Leeds Beckett, Michael Ward of Birmingham, Max Hayden of Loughborough. Just wait for the gun to go before completing the rest of the lineup. Jonathan Hopkins of Cardiff, so 3 times a steeplechase champion at BUCS Outdoors, a hat-trick of titles, won in 2014, 15 and 16 for Cardiff Met, now running for Cardiff. Showed all of his experience, that has included representing Wales at the Commonwealth Games in 2018, to lead from the front all the way until the finish line and have enough strength in the final stages of the 3,000 metres that was so crucial for Bryony Gunn, who'd sat on the shoulder of Grace Carson for so long. Oh, there's a faller there. It's one of the Loughborough athletes. He's going to get back on his feet. So all should be okay. Just looking to see if it's Tom Mortimer or Max Hayden. Well, looks as though it was Max Hayden, because I can recognise the light hair of Mortimer. So Hayden should gradually be able to work his way back up to the back of this field, or maybe not. Difficult job, because Jake Smith is setting a decent pace out front, 2 laps into this race. And just completing the lineup then, Abdulkani Sharif of St Mary's, who won 5,000 metre bronze as part of a St Mary's 1-2-3 behind Ellis Cross and Emil Keres in Bedford last year. Osama Meslek of Huddersfield, 2018 BUCS Indoor 1500 metre champion, who was a finalist for Italy at the European Under-23 Championships last summer, that we continuously seem to mention, but a great sign of just how much international experience some of these athletes have had. James Gormley of Birmingham also in this, lifetime best of 8 minutes 9.4. The defending champion, Kieran Lewis of Cardiff Met and Jonathan Tobin of Sheffield. So much talent here. 11 laps to go. Smith from Gormley, from Sharif, Meslek, Mortimer, Pierce, Hopkins, and then Andrew Smith. So that is the top 8 at this stage, and the second Birmingham athlete, Michael Ward, just moving into that top 8 and past Andrew Smith, John Hopkins and Mark Pierce. So he is clearly seeing that a bit of work is needed to be done at this stage. 2:44.59 through that opening kilometre. Well, in fact, in the heats yesterday, 2:44.57 was the fastest opening kilometre, and Jake Smith and Mark Pierce were battling it out at the front of that race. So Pierce has set his sights on doing something pretty similar. And getting a feel for the track yesterday, the Cardiff Met man. This one, much more spread out. Pierce from Meslek, from Gormley, Mortimer and Ward now. Pierce just avoiding the tightest line of all on the inside now. More and more spread out all the time. Ward is seeming to try and make up a place or two every lap. He's going to find himself a bit stuck when he reaches 3rd place. Tom Mortimer holding that position at the moment. Smith just has a look over his shoulder. Meslek now with him for company and sticking to him like a rash. So it's Noah's Ark formation then, 2 by 2. Smith and Meslek, and then Ward and Mortimer. A number of chasers in behind. Unfortunately for Max Hayden, that slip earlier on in the race has been very, very tough to recover from. 7 laps to go now. Jake Smith leading the way for Cardiff Met. So just looking over his shoulder, and Meslek takes that as an invitation to move through. Looked like he took the inside line there. Well, there was a bit of controversy a couple of years ago when Tommy Horton for Sheffield had a great battle with Surafel of St Mary's and stepped onto the inside of the track just at the start of the home straight. He came through to take the gold medal but was disqualified after the race, and Horton had to wait such a long time to take a BUCS title. Eventually, though, he did manage it outdoors. Well, let's keep an eye on Michael Ward as we come in to the 2 kilometre mark. 2:44.59 for the opening one. 5:24.48 at the 2nd kilometre mark. So 4 seconds faster or thereabouts. 2 minutes and 40. But how will things shape up after 3,000 metres of this race? Deja vu, as you were. Smith from Meslek. Ward of Birmingham has done a terrific job. Mortimer has dropped well back then, because Mark Pearce is now battling for the bronze medal against his former University of Birmingham, now running in the colours of Kiel, and he just drifts past. Doesn't settle in. Maybe sniffing as to what could be up ahead of him. So maybe Meslek and Smith just watching each other, but they're fairly entitled to do so. They have a decent lead here. Pearce in a more and more comfortable looking 3rd place, and Ward now has to refocus. Having done all that hard work, he's in 4th. Hopkins in 5th. Mortimer in 6th. Some way back. And then it's Gormley, the defending champion, and Andrew Smith of Leeds Beckett, with Sharif behind. So yet another tasty duel here. Osama Meslek taking the lead though. 2 laps to go now, 400 metres. 7:04 on the clock. So Meslek, 7:58.82, his lifetime best. Mark Pearce edging into contention more and more all the time as they put a lap on the unfortunate Max Hayden of Loughborough. Meslek, the Italian international, is about to hit the bell, and he was an early riser in the heat and decided that he could use his quality and knew the ability that he has to take it on early. He's doing the same thing here. Mark Pearce now in 2nd place in the middle of all of that. Jake Smith has dropped back into 3rd, but not in the clutches of Michael Ward. So the medals look to be settled here. Osama Meslek looks over his shoulder, and he'll be confident in knowing that he is the champion, following up the gold medal, won in 2018 over 1,500 metres, with Pearce taking the silver for Kiel, and then Jake Smith, our long-time leader for Cardiff Met, taking the bronze, and we wait for more to come through. So Andrew Smith, still a number of finishes yet to come in, just showing you the field spread in this 3,000 metre final. So we're still waiting for Sharif to cross the line, the bronze medalist outdoors last year. Here comes Sharif. And following him home was Jonathan Tobin, and then the unfortunate Max Hayden last across the line. It was always going to be tough, especially when Smith was pushing the pace. You don't want to use up too much energy to get back to the pack, but the field were just getting away from him. And a bit of a tumble that he took early in that race. So by this point things were settled. This was the way it ended up. Osama Meslek. Well, two universities that don't get too many gold medals, and they will really celebrate. Worcester and now Huddersfield getting 3,000 metre gold medalists here at the BUCS indoors in 2020. Quite a few lapped athletes there, and Sharif looking exhausted, and he still had one lap to go, as did Tobin at this point. So in the pole vault, the bar, by the way, is at 4 metres and 40, and they are having first attempts there. McCartney looks to be still in the competition. And the high jumps will happen simultaneously alongside the pole vault, so we'll bring you news as and when we can. Decent crowd here, and we hope to hear some roars from the crowd. The men's long jump final featuring Reynold Benigo also getting underway. So next on the track, the athletes just coming out for the women's 400 metre final. Nessa Mie, Linnea Kilander, Esther Adikpe, Louise Evans, Zoe Pollock and Isabel Boffey. So two Loughborough athletes, two from Brunel, one from Cardiff and one from Birmingham. So the medalists from that just finished men's 3,000 metre final, and looking exhausted. Jake Smith, brave, leading early on. Mark Pearce, opportunist, working his way back towards the front, taking the silver. And Osama Meslek taking the title and pushing on with just over a lap to go to break away from Smith. So some very exciting finals heading your way. Don't go anywhere. Next, 200 metres. From 3 o'clock, and then 800 metres from 3:20, and then 1500 metres from 3:40, and then the relays at 4 o'clock. But first 400s, women's first of all, then the men's. So in this women's 400 metre final, Nessa Mie of Loughborough, the Irish senior international, competed at the European Team Championships First League in Norway last year over the 4 100-metre hurdles. BUCS medalist outdoors a couple of times in 2015 and 2017. Got a bronze in the hurdles outdoors. Linnea Schillander, the Swedish international, coached by Linford Christie. Esther Adikpe of Cardiff, very close to her best throughout this competition, a Welsh indoor champion. Then Louise Evans, European under 24 by 4 champion. Zoe Pollock of Loughborough, 55.08 in the semi-final. And Boffey, usually an 800-metre runner. Running 400 here. So you can follow the action on social media, hashtag BUCS Nationals. There is live swimming as well. I want to tell you about that, but not force you in the direction swimming too strongly, because I think the athletics is going to be brilliant to watch. So Nessa Mie, the Irish international, Linnea Schillander, the Swedish international, Esther Adikpe of Cardiff, Louise Evans of Brunel, Zoe Pollock of Loughborough, and Isabel Boffey for Birmingham, the European under-20 800-metre champion. But she also was part of the 4x4 winning relay quartet with Louise Evans. So what a great battle between these two. They came through the semi-final together with Nessa Mie, who's on the inside as they break to the inside. Boffey leading at the bell. Wonderful lifetime best in the semi-final, 53.79, and Boffey leading once again. You'd expect her to have good endurance, so can she hold on? Zoe Pollock of Loughborough in second place, and Nessa Mie trying to manage that gap in behind, but it's all between Boffey and Pollock. So used to seeing Isabel Boffey on the top step of her podium. She takes the BUCS 400 title, beating the 400-metre specialists. Wow, Birmingham must absolutely love her. It's a new lifetime best as well, 53.65. She really does give everything. Well, I've watched year after year as Isabel Boffey has won national age group indoor titles here at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield, and then really flourishing on the European stage, and seemed to have the energy after that to be involved in a strong 4x4 quartet. We probably could have won it without her, such was Britain's dominance on that particular stage. But she beat Louise Evans in the semi-final and seemed determined to get as best time as possible. And the question whether Evans, making her BUCS debut in 2020, looked surprised by just how far Boffey was in front. But it's not often you see Isabel Boffey lose, to be perfectly honest. Keely Hodgkinson, I remember, beat her as an under-17 at the 2018 England under-20 championships, and Hodgkinson was the youngest in the field at that point. I remember seeing Katie Ann MacDonald a couple of years before that, having to run a competition record to beat Boffey at the England under-17 championships. But watch out, remember the name Isabel Boffey for sure. I wonder whether she might prove to have great form over 400-metre runner, whether she'll be a useful relay runner in future. But of course, British middle distance running is very much stacked. There have been a couple of athletes who've made decent breakthroughs in recent years. Obviously Gemma Reekie, the main one, who's setting everything alight at the moment. And well, Mari Smith, another BUCS champion, formerly in the colours of Birmingham. Sarah MacDonald as well, a winner here in 2014 and 2015 in the 1500 metres. Georgia Bell as well, who's no longer competing as an athlete, I don't believe, but just shows you the excellent stock of Birmingham middle distance runners, and stepping down to 400 here. So that was a wonderful, breathtaking final and scintillating performance from Isabel Boffey. So on to the men's 400 metre final, and we're keeping an eye out on the pole vault, by the way, because Holly Bradshaw, the British record holder, expected to attempt at least a championship best performance in the pole vault, and Sally Peake's best from 2012 is 5 metres and 20. The bar's at 4 metres 10 at the moment. Let's take a look at the final of the men's 400 metres then. Kevin Metzger, yes, Kevin Metzger, the triple jumper, and I think he won the England under-23 triple jump title along with Naomi Ogbeta, his girlfriend. So be convenient had they both won those around the time of Valentine's Day, but a couple's double for them. But Kevin Metzger then proved his speed over 100 metres at the British Championships, and then recently at the Northern Indoors, coming 5th over 400 metres, and he seems to have great speed. He's been running out of his skin in the earlier rounds, nearly running too quickly through the opening 200, I think, because he just run out of steam a little bit in the semi-final, but he has made it through to the final. Do you know what? I've just given him all that billing, and he's the DNS. So we've only got 5 men in this 400 metre final. No Kevin Metzger. Just out of shot is David Ryan of Brunel, the Irish international. Then Jack Hocking, you can see there, hoping to get a medal for Birmingham. He was the silver medalist last year. Then Ollie Biddle, the Gloucestershire athlete and England senior finalist last year. Alex Haydock-Wilson, the favourite though, part of the European indoor squad in Glasgow last year for GB. And Aidan Leeson, the 2017 Midlands Under-20 indoor champion. So Haydock-Wilson, will he breeze through here? Already up on Aidan Leeson, his Loughborough teammate. Can they both get on the podium? Biddle has looked good through the rounds. Hocking has surely had more to give. So into the home straight for the first time, Alex Haydock-Wilson. Well, Cameron Chalmers has dominated at BUCS in the past, winning indoor and outdoor titles. 46.91, his best performance here, matching that of David Hall of Brunel from 2015. Alex Haydock-Wilson, well, Biddle in second place, Hocking in third, but battling with Leeson, who's right behind him. Alex Haydock-Wilson, though, is going to take the title. 47.50, and a fast finishing Leeson there makes Hocking put his head in his hands. Haydock-Wilson did what he needed to win that race. And yet another gold in the colours of Loughborough. They started this morning off with triple jump gold medals for Lily Hulland and Henry Clarkson. He's sort of celebrating while lying on the ground for the cameras. So let's see if we can get another look of that race. Another exciting final. You always felt as though Alex Haydock-Wilson was the favourite, particularly as Joe Breyer dropped out of the running to take part in the Muller Indoor Grand Prix. Would have been exciting to see those two battle against each other. But still pleased that Haydock-Wilson was here to compete. So at this point, it's the Loughborough man from Biddle, Hocking, Leeson, and then Ryan. Just the 5 in this field. Leeson coming through, drifting all the way into lane 4, doing a Veronica Campbell-Brown. The medalist then, Adikpe, getting the bronze. Well, Adikpe, a former English schools under 15 sprint hurdles champion, acquitted herself very well here. And then Pollock of Loughborough getting the silver, but Isabel Boffey, what a performance. 53.65 was what the clock stopped at. And she summons the others onto the top step of the podium. So another medal for Cardiff, following up Lauren Cooper's 3,000 metre fast finish. Bar at 4:40 in the pole vault, by the way. They're at first attempts there, and the men's and women's high jumps happening simultaneously. Looks as though early stages, bar at 190 in the men's and 163 for the women. They're in the second round of the men's long jump. So you're watching live coverage then of these 2020 BUCS Indoor Athletics Championships. So here is Holly Bradshaw in the pole vault, the British record holder, studying at Loughborough. So used to competing here in Sheffield, but unusual surroundings perhaps, with lots of students. Used to seeing her on the major international competition stage. So it looks like she's going to go here at 4 meters and 40. So attempting a championship record here, Holly Bradshaw. So Leeson, Biddle and Haydock Wilson, the medalists. 2 for Loughborough on the podium. And we're keeping an eye on Holly Bradshaw in the background, knocking on the podium, knocking on the door throughout the heat in the semi-final and taking a smooth victory. So there we are, the medalists from the men's 400 metres. Those in the 200 metres will be decided. So Holly Bradshaw attempting a championship best performance here. Sally Peake cleared 4 meters and 20 8 years ago. An athlete who's since gone on to represent Wales at the Commonwealth Games. She was competing for Cardiff on that occasion. Holly Bradshaw focused here. Great to have such a household name competing at these BUCS Championships. So going for the best ever. Oh, unfortunately not with the first attempt. All the anticipation, but let's have another look. Holly Bradshaw explaining to me that so much happens in a few seconds in the pole vault. You've got to be fast on the runway, and then you shoot up to the 12 o'clock position, and you've got to be patient. And then quick once again as you try and clear that bar and head on your way down. And gravity does the final bit for you. Well, we've got another set of athletes out there. So high time, I took you through the lineup of the women's 200 metre final. So just working my way through the sea of paper for the start list in front of me. I'm very glad to say there are recycling bins here at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. And I would implore all athletics venues to have the same. Well, Darcy Kuipers then, this is her 7th BUCS, indoors or out. She was joining me in the commentary box yesterday and said it will no doubt be emotional when she likely says goodbye in Bedford. But I say likely because people seem to turn up years later and continue to compete at BUCS, and that is a testament to the great team spirit. Darcy Kuipers of Brunel, she was saying that 100 metres is her favourite event. She got, I think, 5 PBs and another wind-assisted lifetime best at the outdoors last year to take that 100 metre outdoor silver medal. Linford Christie and Margaret Adoy involved in her coaching, Laura Turner-Elaine involved in managing the Brunel team. Rebecca Jego of Essex is alongside her. 24.34 in the semi-finals. She's the Southern Indoor 200 metre champion. 24.80 on that occasion, so some 0.6 off her outright lifetime best. Paige Fairclough, another who featured in the 60, and Fairclough a best of 24.4. Last year's Southern Indoor 200 metre champion. Rebecca Matheson, very, very impressive from the outside in the semi-final. The Scottish Universities champion, 24.45. Her best coming in, but then she bettered that in the semi-finals, so doing everything to make sure she was the winner, because only the top athlete did go through from the semis. Really tough qualifying conditions. It was even tougher for the men. More on that in a moment. Hannah Breyer, twice the 60 metre champion indoors for Loughborough, and then Jasmine Moss, the silver medalist last year, and someone we're more used to seeing over 200, whereas Breyer maybe prefers the shorter sprints. But no problem for Isabel Boffey to do a different event to which she normally does. Kuipers, Jego, Fairclough, Matheson, Breyer and Moss. Hannah Breyer, as always, the fast start. Will Jasmine Moss have more endurance as they come down and onto the home straight here? Hannah Breyer, Jasmine Moss battling to come through. She does have more endurance, and Northumbria have their BUCS title. 23.86 for Moss, a new lifetime best. Well, Jasmine Moss won the England under-20 title here last year. She was first at the Scottish Championships also in Glasgow. Not too far for the Gateshead Harrier to go north to compete as a guest in those. She was a DNS in the 60 final, so concentrating on the 200 metres. We hoped at the time that it wasn't an injury she'd picked up, and it's proved to be the case that she wanted to go for gold here over the longer sprint. So Hannah Breyer then, yet another BUCS medal for the World Junior and World Youth finalists, but couldn't quite hold on. It was close in the end. What a lovely final that was. I keep saying don't go anywhere, but I hope you're heeding that advice. This is the men's long jump final then, so just having a look, we're in the third round. And Daniel Lamb was last to jump for Birmingham. This is his teammate Jake Berkey. Looks like the bar's at 166 in the women's high jump. So Berkey, big leap into the air and long into the sandpit for Berkey. So Jasmine Moss confirmed as the 200 metre champion. So keeping an eye on Holly Bradshaw, who's just disappeared from sight for the moment. And in the meantime, Berkey just also disappearing from the long jump area to get a bit of advice. So here we go. This is 9.37. That's George Orton of Warwick. There are a number of vests that are particularly similar this year. You have to say the UEL East London rebrand looks like Cambridge. And this sort of maroon Warwick colour is not too dissimilar to Bristol. Seem to remember in years gone by Bristol had blue and white stripes. So quite a change. So Orton, another decent jump there. Just waiting for the scoreboard to update. Of course, 937, that's his number. You can see that we're in the third round now. Well, I understand that, by the way, Holly Bradshaw on the pole vault, there was a discussion on how many minutes she would get between jumps, between attempts. So just to ease off the pressure and allow herself the maximum opportunity to make the most of competing here for Loughborough. So that may be part of the reason for a bit of a wait. Another jump that looked pretty good on the board, so looks like this is 5:08 Ewan Urquhart, who was disqualified from the final of, I'm going to say, the 400 metres a little earlier on. But to be honest, his races are coming so thick and fast. Anyway, he was the DQ after the false start that we saw earlier this afternoon. Holly Bradshaw has got herself a nice seat for the moment, so she can stare down at that bed. So next it looks like will be the medal ceremony for the women's 200 metres. Rebecca Matheson there on the right hand side, most impressive in the semi-final, winning with a new lifetime best of 24:33, and now takes bronze. So Breyer takes the silver over the longest sprint, and Jasmine Moss is the BUCS champion. So one better than she managed here behind Hayley Mills, when Mills set the new championship best performance of 23:49. Here comes Holly Bradshaw at 4:55. And she makes it this time, and some height to spare as well. Well, pole vault taking centre stage this weekend with a new world record for Mondo Duplantis, the American-born Swedish athlete who wants to be the pole vault guy. And that followed his 6:17 effort, so 1 centimetre further, and it was a tactic used, I remember, by Yelena Isinbayeva to only break the record by 1 centimetre each time, so you can do it again on another occasion. And I suppose you do get the financial bonus out of that, as well as the opportunity to break the record plenty of times. Sergei Bubka was the same. So Bradshaw with the ambitions of making it to the Olympic Games. A lovely vault there for her. Wonderful to watch when it all goes right. So following the women's 200 metres, 1 lap of the track for these men. They're quite closely matched in the semi-finals. The times range from 21.08 to 21.98. But that latter time I mentioned there from Shamar Boldazar, who will go in lane 2 in this final, saw him just to ease up over the line with his vest hanging off his shoulder. Wonder if it's too big for him, or that's just a bit of swagger. And he's every right to have a bit of swagger, because in the last couple of years he has made a big breakthrough and taken a huge chunk off his 200 metre lifetime best. I mentioned this earlier that he ended 2017 with a 21.9 PB and improved by 1.4 seconds at the end of last year. And it was a year that saw him convert England under-23 gold into European gold at the same age group. So once again, as I say, we'll look at what Holly Bradshaw is doing. She's just changed back into her tracksuit for the time being. So full concentration on the men's 200 metre final. Nick Price will go on the inside for Staffordshire. 21.13 his best, the England senior 200 metre silver medalist. Then Boldazar, the European under-23 champion. Ben Paris, looking like a very accomplished sprinter in the semi-finals. 21.59 a little earlier, the 2019 Welsh indoor champion. Alongside him is Ben Wells of Gloucestershire, 21.97, so marginally the slowest of the qualifiers. And Jonah Efaloco, the world under-20 champion, hands on hips for UEL. Finally, but not least, Andrew Morgan Harrison of Hull, giving them great representation in the final, having had his teammates Eustace Hilling in the semi-final also. And Morgan Harrison, 20.91 his best, so ranked 3rd overall behind Efaloco Boldazar, who goes in lane 2. So Price, Boldazar, Paris, Wells, Efaloco and Morgan Harrison. The final of the men's 200 metres. Well, how fabulous that this final features 2 men who've won global competitions. World under-20 and European under-23s. Boldazar, the tall figure in the blue and white stripes of St Mary's. On the inside there, watch out for Efaloco. But Morgan Harrison coming through. Well, what a surprise. 20.67, he's absolutely smashed the championship best performance. It was 21.04 and we knew it would take something to beat the likes of Boldazar and Efaloco. But Andrew Morgan Harrison takes gold for Hull. Rapid pace on the outside. Well, we're watching to see whether Boldazar would come through with that fast finish of his. Efaloco as well. He's moved to London now, the Sail Harrier for university, I believe coached by Michael Afilaka. Shamar Boldazar, the newfound confidence that he can take into 2020 after a great year last year, and Efaloco with his breakthrough in 2018. But maybe we should have been thinking that this is a new decade, new year, and Andrew Morgan Harrison is the man who takes the BUCS indoor title. Efaloco some way back, and then Boldazar just dipped on the line for bronze. Well, I mentioned that Morgan Harrison was ranked 3rd, but in the end he turned the tables, and those 3 men who had gone sub 21 before are all the medalists, but a different way round. So Jordan Kirby-Polidor of Loughborough was the previous competition best performance holder, 21.04 from 2013, and the clock stopped at 20.67 here. That's an extraordinary difference, but Efalokan Boldazar took some beating. Here is Holly Bradshaw, 4.65. So to return a championship best performance into the colours of Loughborough, having had one taken away in the 200. Can't quite do it this time, but she'll have 2 more goes at 4.65. So she's working her way up and up. And the last couple of years we've seen not only Holly Bradshaw at the top level, but the camaraderie and spirit among those best on the international stage, like Kat Stefanidi, Sandy Morris, Katie Najot. I think helping each other with poles and pinning on their numbers. I seem to remember they were doing that at the match, it might have been, between Europe and USA. And Holly Bradshaw was saying that, yeah, they're all good friends, good pals, and ultimately it's also up to them to individually compete well. And if she's outvaulted, then the others stepped up better on the day, but they remain good friends on the circuit, which is excellent to see. And you so often see that with the field events. They've had a number of people watching on. So bar at 196 here in the men's high jump. And it's one of the Manchester Met athletes here. Let's have a look. Stephen Jones then, number 700. And he clears 196. Fabulous stuff there. Could still have some way to go here. Incidentally, no Will Grimsey or Ryan Webb. They were initially on the BUCS website entry lists, BUCS Indoor and Outdoor Champions. So maybe a new champion this year. Shamar Boldazar getting that bronze medal. Adds it to his collection. And then a bit of a grimace there from Efaloko. I'm sure he would have come in wanting that gold medal, but he was beaten by a worthy champion. So Hull's Andrew Morgan Harrison, 20.66, a new championship best performance. I was joking yesterday that now we'll hear the national anthem of Hull, but having used that pun 3 times now, I think we'll retire that one. Hashtag BUCS Nationals on Twitter. What would your university's national anthem be? Or anthem? That's what I'd love to know. What song would you like to play if you won the BUCS title on the podium? So, staying with the men's high jump. Another great clearance at 196 for athlete 512. That's Mantas Likis, Glasgow athlete. I thought that looked like a Lithuania tracksuit. So 4 laps of the track, the final of the women's 800 metres coming up in just a moment's time. So let's have a look at the lineup here. Olivia Varay, the Edinburgh athlete, coached by her father Jerome Varay, the former footballer in the Scottish Premiership. Varay, the Scottish under-20 indoor champion last year. This is her first year as an under-23. Tamsin McGraw of Sheffield Hallam alongside her, 2:11.46 in the semi-finals. Saskia Huxham of Durham has looked like she's had plenty of pace to burn through the rounds. 2:07.89, her outright best. The English school's bronze medalist over 800 last year. Then Francesca Brint of Birmingham, World Under-20 finalist over 1500 metres in Tampere in Finland a couple of years ago. So the same tournament at which Jonah Epiloko won 200 gold. Then Isabel Ives, well, ranked number 1 coming in, 2:04.46, her best, and 2:07.36 indoors, both better than anyone else's. Silver indoors and out last year. She's had to wait for her moment. And then Louise Shanahan of Cambridge, the Irish international. Shanahan has an outright best of 2:04.77. And I'm mainly using those outdoor PBs because many of these women don't have a huge amount of experience of running indoors. So could that make a bit of a difference? They've got Cheska Brint of Birmingham, lifetime best in Belfast last summer, 2:04.77. Shanahan of Ireland, she was a World Under-20 semi-finalist for Ireland in 2016. So Brint from Ives and then Shanahan. Beret trying to find space on the inside. Huxham in the whites, and I believe it's called Palatinate officially, of Durham. And then Sheffield Hallam on home soil effectively. Tamsin McGraw, I think she was the fastest qualifier actually through the heats, coming through with 2 laps to go. So 65.76 is on that clock track side. Ives now moving up into first position. Shanahan now beginning to follow through and pass Brint. Hooray! Trying to shape up for medal contention, and just look at Brint, not taking the tightest inside line now, not allowing Beret space. And now Brint looks eager to make a move, and as does Shanahan. So Izzy Ives has a real battle on her hands. 1:38.59 at the bell. So Shanahan, the Irish woman, to the front. Ives gritting her teeth and battling hard here. Cambridge from Birmingham, from Edinburgh and Bath. And McGraw maybe also in contention for a medal. But now it looks like Shanahan is going to take this title unchallenged down the home straight for Shanahan of Cambridge. 2:09.69. Oh, an almighty battle. And athletes absolutely exhausted on the floor there. Let's have another look. Well, Francesca Brint looked very, very composed at this point. Shanahan just gets her shoulders out. And Ives just about squeezed there on the inside. We're very close. Don't think there was any cutting across or anything untoward at all. Just good, clean, hard battling over 800 metres. So at this point it's Shanahan from Brint and Varey taking third spot. But it's the final gear that Shanahan finds. Unwinding down this home straight. Brint getting second, and does Ives get there for another BUCS medal? Oh my goodness me, that is tight. Well, just before the line it looks like Beret does hold on. Going to be difficult to tell from this angle. Well, it's the torso that matters, and I'm going to wait and see for the photo finish, but my instinct was that Beret did hold on. So once again keeping an eye on where Holly Bradshaw is. So she's just sitting down at the moment, and will next go at 4:75. So another look here. Let's focus on the battle for third. behind Shanahan and Brint. It's the torso that matters. Well, photo finish guys are just looking at the image. So lots of field action ongoing now. The bar's still at 196 in the men's high jump. And just making it over at the third attempt a moment ago. I think that was, well, I'm not entirely sure because the numbers have changed too quickly before I could take a look at the start list. So the pole vault, and it's Holly Bradshaw once again at 4.75 meters. So already a massive championship best. It was 4.20 meters. So the crowd watching on, Bud Boldaro, bottom right of screen, or top right even. Andy Henderson managing Leeds Beckett. So here comes Bradshaw at 4.75. So she will need at least a second attempt to clear here, but I think she started vaulting at 4.40, so gradually working her way up the heights even. So Varay did indeed hold on. Always trust your instincts. So Edinburgh take the bronze medal, so delight for her. An athlete who's improved in the last year, as has Cheska Brint. And middle distance youth talents just seem to flock to universities like Birmingham. Boffey and Brint have done so. Coaching of Bud Boldaro and supported by Luke Gunn managing the Birmingham team as always. But Shanahan, the Irish international, who takes the BUCS title. So in the pole vault, Holly Bradshaw has 2 more attempts left at 4.75. Just sitting down for the moment. We're just waiting here in the high jump with the bar at 1.69. This is Sarah Connolly, who clears at 1.69. And now we'll work our attention back to the 800-metre final for the men. So this perhaps a tighter one to call. No Alex Bottrell, unfortunately, or Piers Copeland. They're both called to run at the Muller Indoor Grand Prix Glasgow. Copeland in particular impressing. So we've got Joseph Morrison of Chester on the inside, then Luke Farrant of Loughborough will go from lane 2. Chin and Crawken of Liverpool, John Moores, the Northern 1500 metre silver medalist outdoors, and then Callum Dodds of Brunel, the fastest athlete in the field, 1:47.77, his best, part of the European under 24 by 4 squad last summer. Indoor lifetime best in Lee Valley in January, 1:47.79. Thomas Randolph of St Mary's, and finally Tom Dodd of Birmingham, who's come through in the latter stages of both the heat and the semi-final. The fastest in qualifying looks to have been Thomas Randolph, 1:51.21, but they were all different stories to those races. So here comes Callum Dodds of Brunel from St Mary's, Randolph, and then very close in behind Morrison in the red and white, just overtaken by Tom Dodd of Birmingham. So those two shoulder to shoulder in third and fourth, and watch out for Dodd in the last lap. But for now, Callum Dodds supreme out front, 53.18 with 2 laps to go. So no one really blinking at this point, but decent pace being set by Callum Dodds. Guy Learmonth holds the competition record, in fact, so just a sign of how things can progress for some of the BUCS champions who'll take this 800-metre title. Randolph moves to the front, 1:21.47 at the bell this time. And now the St Mary's man really pushing on, and Tom Dodd huffing and puffing, got a lot of work to do. And we're waiting to see if Callum Dodds can respond. Randolph, Dodds, Dodd and Morrison. I wonder whether Tom Dodd has ever raced someone that's plural of his name. No matter. Oh my goodness me! Dodds takes the title in circumstances we couldn't possibly predict there. Randolph crashes out of the lead. So unfortunate. 1:50.35 is on the clock, but that is not the main story. And a bizarre feeling it must be for Callum Dodds. Well, for obvious reasons, we're not showing Thomas Randolph, but he is getting medical attention. So, oh my word, Thomas Randolph leads at this point in the blue and white stripes of St Mary's, and Callum Dodds in the cap for Brunel. Dodd, who'd had the fast finishes in both the heat and the semi-finals, in third spot at this time. We have seen some incredible 800-metre finals here over the years, including the 2017 final when 5 out of 6 athletes led at one point, and Will Snook, who was in 6th place at the bell, led just 100 metres later. But Randolph, my goodness me, and Morrison had to take evasive action as Crawken looked to take silver behind Dodds. Unfortunate scenes here. Well, as I say, we couldn't have predicted that. Very unfortunate for Randolph. So once again keeping an eye on the pole vault. Looks like Holly Bradshaw's just getting a bit of advice. Trying to see if it's her partner Scott Simpson on the far side. I'm sure it likely would be. And meanwhile, we have the high jump at 199 for the men, 172 for the women, and they're in the 5th round of the men's long jump. So Reynold Benigo last to jump, 762 that measurement for Benigo, formerly in the colours of Loughborough, and now jumping for Nottingham Trent, in fact. So few field events happening simultaneously. So we can see there the clearance at 199 from athlete 122, and that athlete is Liam Reveley of Newcastle. So that's Holly Bradshaw in the pole vault, and see if we can get another look at what just happened. There is Scott Simpson on the sideline. So this was her 3rd attempt at 4.75 meters and not able to clear. Damn it, I think she says. Well, clearing 4.80 last year in Doha did Holly at the World Championships. This is the medal ceremony after a unfortunate ending for Thomas Randolph, slipping down the home straight. Morrison bronze for Chester, Crawken for Liverpool John Moores silver, and Dodds takes the title for Brunel. So the pole vault is concluded. Holly Bradshaw does at least get a championship best performance, beating that of Sally Peake, set in 2012, 4 metres and 20. Now we have got long jump and high jumps. So the bar at 199 in the men's high jump. And 172 for the women. So Malachi Gare of Sheffield now with the bar at 199. This is his third attempt, so he must clear to stay in the competition. Oh, unfortunate for Gare as he looks longingly up that bar that's come down now. So meanwhile, in the women's high jump, I said the bar's at 172. And athlete number 421 has just cleared, so that's Hannah Tapley of Cardiff Met. More on that in a moment. So here in the last round, the men's long jump, by the way, that was a red flag. I think that was Berkey for Birmingham. So on the far side, getting ready for the women's 1500 metre final. Let's have a look at this lineup. Maisie Grice of Birmingham, 2019 England under-20 3,000 metre steeplechase silver medalist, who was 6th at the BUCS Cross Country Championships and 5th at BUCS Outdoors in the 2,000 metre steeplechase. Then Chloe Sharp of Kent alongside, 4:33 in the heat to qualify. Emily Simpson of Sheffield Hallam is alongside her, the 2020 Northern Indoor Champion, and Eloise Walker of Glasgow, who represented Great Britain in the 3,000 metres at the European Under-20s in Sweden last summer. Isabel Cotton of Liverpool John Moores, a 7-second lifetime best in the heat of 4 minutes 32.07. Then Sabrina Senior, 4:17, her lifetime best outdoors. She was 2nd at BUCS Outdoors behind Georgie Hartigan. Kai Malanga, 2017 European under-20 800 metre champion in Grosseto in Italy. Then 2 Loughborough athletes, first of all Rosie Johnson, who was 3rd last year with a lifetime best from 2014 of 4 minutes 15.32. And finally, perhaps the favourite, or one of the favourites, a gold medal contender, Amy Griffiths. 2015 was a huge breakthrough year for her. European under-20 1500 metre silver, 4:09.71 her best. A World Junior finalist, a European under-23 5th placer in 2017 as well. She won the BUCS Outdoor 1500 metre title in 2015 also. So this could be a great battle, particularly between Birmingham and Loughborough, but we've seen some different names stand on the top step of the podium, including Hull, Worcester and Huddersfield. Kai Malanga represents Writtle College, the Essex County athlete. So coming through there with 5 laps to go now. So Malanga is just slotted into third spot. The tall blonde hair of Griffiths in second spot. And leg number 2, that's Chloe Sharp of Kent, our early leader here. Well, the men's 1500 metre final will follow, and then we'll have the relays. Bar now up to 2:02 in the men's high jump and 1:75 in the women's. Hannah Tapley's just failed with her first attempt at 1:75. So trying to keep you across as much action as possible here. Mantas Lakis going at 2:02 in the men's high jump. It's his first attempt and he goes clear. Well, a bit of a bump there for Kai Malanga just as Amy Griffiths took the lead, and if anything it pushes Malanga on to try and get on the shoulder of Amy Griffiths. So they're coming through with 600 metres to go. So Griffiths from Malanga, and Sharp has dropped back a bit and falling behind Rosie Johnson now, the second of the Loughborough students. And a new athlete in third place, that's Sheffield Hallam's Emily Simpson. So they're about to come through with 2 laps to go, 400 metres remaining, 3:18 on the clock. Griffiths, Malanga, Simpson, and then Walker. So a good battle here. It's a bit of a breakaway from this quartet. Well, some great talents here. Griffiths still leading. Can she hold on? Looking stronger and stronger. Malanga just managed to stay on her feet. Can she stay in contention in the final 200 metres? And looks like our medalists will come from these 4 as Walker tries to respond to this injection of pace. Griffiths now pulling further clear, looking to add to that outdoor title from 2015. Amy Griffiths in the colours of Loughborough, working those arms hard as Simpson moves up into second and Walker fights for bronze, but Amy Griffiths is the champion, holds her arm aloft, 4:22.85. As the rest of the field come home, they're Cottam just making up a place and falling into the shoulders of the athlete in front. Well, delightful for Amy Griffiths, someone who's experienced at representing Great Britain at cross-country level as well. In the senior race at the European Cross-Country Championships in Lisbon in December, she finished 15th. And it's not an easy team to make, the Great Britain Senior Cross-Country team. But Griffiths here on the back straight, and Malanga at this point in second place. So really impressive then for Emily Simpson to beat the 2017 European Junior Champion. Emily Simpson herself the Northern Indoor Champion with a best of 4:27.59. And Walker fights through, so Malanga out of the medals. So the pole vault medal ceremony following the A final. Ellen McCartney now being presented with the silver. So Holly Bradshaw, new championship best performance of 4:65 meters. Had 3 goes at 4:75, but adds BUCS title to her collection. And by process of elimination, I believe the bronze medalist is Megan Bailey of Exeter, because it can't be Brunel, Loughborough, Bath, Nottingham Trent or Cardiff met. So great celebration as Amy Griffiths came across the line there. So it looks like the long jump has now concluded, but the bar is at 2 meters and 2 in the men's high jump and 178 in the women's high jump. So I believe this is Annika Teska of Brunel. This is her third attempt at 178 now. Well, close, but unfortunately out of the competition. But the men's high jump, the bar at 2 meters and 5 now. So here we are, back with Stephen Jones. His jump was the first that we saw this men's high jump competition a while ago now. First attempt at 2 meters and 5. Looks like Kelechi Oguocha is also still in the competition there. He is lurking in the background. But the attention on Stephen Jones at the time being. And Jones leaning back like the evolution of man. So Jones at 2 meters and 5, he can clear. Wonderful effort. So very pleased that we can bring that for you just before the 1500 meter final. So good work from the director there. So 2 meters and 5, could that prove a crucial jump? Maybe there's more to come from Stephen Jones. Tom Keane there, the European Under-18 champion, wearing leg number 4, just looking round. Let's have a look at the full lineup for this men's 1500 final. Well, Loughborough taking the women's gold a moment ago. David Sheldon featured for them. He's right on the outside. 3:48.92, and this is his first BUCS final. He made the semi-finals outdoors in 2017. Remy Adebayo of Bath competed for Great Britain in the steeplechase at the European Under-20s, and then Ricky Lutakome of St Mary's. 3:55.61 in the heat. Well, I thought they were ready to get underway, but looks like we'll go to medal presentation with Eloise Walker running through to get that bronze right at the end. Silver for Sheffield Hallam's Emily Simpson. And Amy Griffiths getting that gold medal. So men's 1500 metres. So men's 1500 metres. We're working our way through that lineup. Joseph Tuffin, Jordan Wood, James Hennigan, Thomas Keane, Alexander Gruen, John Howarth, Ricky Lutakome, Remy Adebayo and David Sheldon. So a real range of talent and experience here. Tom Keane, I mentioned he won the European Under-18 3000 metre title in Hungary 2 years ago, and then won the home country's cross-country international in Stirling last month. So rather different territory to which we have here. Indoors dry and not muddy. Alex Gruen, the Australian and 2018 BUCS indoors finalist, 3:47.48 at best. In the headband with the long floppy hair. Looks like that might be John Howarth, our early leader. Well, it's one of the Cardiff students, certainly. It's in fact James Hennigan, his teammate. So Hennigan, who set an 800-metre indoor P to win the 2020 Welsh indoors title at the end of last month, a best over 1500 of 3:49.14. And Howarth is making his way around the outside. Both have CUAC, Cardiff University Athletic Club vests. So they'll come through then with 5 laps and 1,000 metres to go. Hennigan from Keene, and then one of the Birmingham students on the inside. Looks like Tuffin. Tuffin, 3:52.03 his best. He was 8th over 1500 last year here. And Lutakami, well, nearly missed out on making the semi-finals and then was much more convincing in the semi-final. Well, can he make amends following that fall from Randolph, who was leading the men's race earlier? It was the 800 metres. So really bunching together now, and sort of situation where we can see some bumping and barging, and often do. And maybe it'll be a big burn up with 200 metres to go. So no one blinking at this stage. Kai Malanga just about managed to stay on her feet in the women's final. Tom Keane has the quality to be able to push on at this point, like Osama Meslek did. Remy Adebayo had a great change in gear in the heat as well. So, approaching 400 to go now, 3:05 on the clock. Tom Keane of Birmingham, Ricky Lutakome of St Mary's, Remy Adebayo Bath would be the medalists if we stop the race now, but we're not going to do that. Adebayo pulling his way through. Tuffin maybe he can make it 2 Birmingham athletes on this podium. Now looking more and more spread out and looking like a tram line astern, apart from Cardiff's James Hennigan. So can Tom Keane hold on? The 2 men who represented Great Britain at junior level. Hennigan is still battling here. Now Adebayo takes the lead for Bath. And what has Tom Keane got left to respond with as he grits his teeth? Adebayo down the home straight from Hennigan. Hennigan still coming. Adebayo falls over the line, but he is the champion for Bath. 3:59.25 on the clock. It took some effort from Reddy Adebayo, but he was cool down that home straight. Hennigan gave everything also, but perhaps shouldn't quite time it right. Well, eventually the delight comes through for Remy Adebayo. Great experience last year that he got in Boros at these those European Under-20 Championships. He's had a lifetime best at the Welsh indoors where he came second, 3:54.56 coming into today. But Tom Keane looking to be back to his best, fresh from a new outright PB in Vienna of 3:41.44. Did well in the opening stages, but he found himself On the inside, overtaken. Adebayo coming through, and he does some impressive somersault. This is the athletics you're watching, not the gymnastics. And more evasive action needed to be taken in the background amongst all of that. So high jump still going on, and the bar for the men is at 2 meters and 8. Looks like we've got a third attempt here. Stephen Jones once again, who we saw clear 2 meters and 5 just before that final, so 2 meters and 8 has proved to be a little bit more difficult for him, understandably. And then the women's high jump still ongoing, and the bar is at 1 meter 84. First attempts happening there. Laura Ziala of Birmingham shaping up for that. Also a good triple jumper. And we are looking at Stephen Jones. Third attempt at 2 meters and 8. Can he go any higher? No, he did not get the height there. So end of Jones' competition. So medal ceremony going on there. Renal Benigo taking the long jump title. So Benigo now in the colours of Nottingham Trent. So the bar's now moved up to 2 meters 11. This is Kelechi Aguocha of Loughborough. The championship best, we're some way away from that. Ray Bobronitsky of Edinburgh from 2011, 2 meters 22. Aguocha, terrific clearance there. Is there more to come from him? Well, just wondering whether anyone else but Jones was left in the competition, with Jones failing at that third attempt at 2 meters and 8. Looks like Laura Ziala is going on her own for a second attempt at 184, judging by the amount of time that she's had. And well, the Lithuanian athlete Mantas Leikis may indeed be left in the competition. So Laura Ziala of Birmingham going up 184 now. So Ziala, oh well, looked like she got decent height, but she'll have one more go at 1 meter 84. And unless anyone else is passed, I feel it looks like that she has become the only athlete left in the competition. Was ranked number 1 coming in as well. So the relay finals to come in a few moments' time, and we have seen some wonderful performances as well as absolute carnage and huge comebacks over the years, so make sure you join us for the 4x2s. We'll have the women's at 4 o'clock, and well, I say it's already gone 4 o'clock, so just looking at the time there, so just a couple of minutes behind the schedule here, if that's what you're following, and then 10 minutes later the men's relay. Well, there are the athletes just about to come out, and Laura Ziala just taking a moment before she shapes up for this final attempt at 184. Well, Mantas Likas is left in the high jump at 2:11. As we look here at, I believe, the men's ambulance men's long jump. So we've got Prince Reed taking the bronze medal, Jordan Andrew the silver, and Joseph Gray takes the BUCS title. So congratulations to Joseph, Jordan and Prince. Manchester, East London and East Anglia. Well, Prince Reed competed in the long jump, triple jump, and he sprinted and featured in, I think it was the 1500 metres yesterday as well. So 4 events that we've seen him in. So the women's 4x200 metre relay final coming up next, and the athletes just coming out onto the track. So we're all done in the women's high jump and waiting to see what happens at 2 metres and 11 in the men's. So Mantas Likas there clearing with his 3rd attempt at 2 metres 11. So we believe that the Lithuanian may well go up to 2 metres and 15. He may attempt a lifetime best, we'll wait and see. So Ogawatcha still in the competition. So those two athletes, Jones going out after 3 failed attempts at 2 metres and 8. Right, are you ready for the relays? Hold on to the edge of your seat, strap yourselves in. This should be fun. Well, we've got Cardiff Met in lane 1 on the inside. We've called upon the likes of Charlotte Wingfield and Mika Moore and Mel Roberts in the past. Sheffield Hallam in lane 2. Brunel, Birmingham, Bath and Loughborough. Lots of talent in these quartets. The women's 4x200 metre relay final. So Loughborough on the outside. Tough team to get into. You'd think Hannah Breyer looks to be waiting in the wings to take over that baton, and who better, the silver medalist in the 200 and 60 metre winner the 2 years prior to this. Bath going well. Hannah Kelly handing over for Birmingham, who are also in medal contention. Hannah Longdon with a lot of work to do for Cardiff Met right of shot. So Hannah Breyer for Loughborough, who was just beaten at the end of that 200 metres. Great speed here from her as they head Bath at the moment. Natasha Harrison has the baton. Harrison, who won European under-20 4x4 gold. So really spread out now, and Bath trying to do something about that. Loughborough, Bath, Birmingham and Brunel, Kilander, the Swedish international, trying to get a medal for her team. Now this final leg, and Bath, did they get that baton in time? Looked as though they did, but I'm sure the officials will have a look at that. Isabel Boffey, 800 metre runner, 400 metre champion, here doing the 200 metre relay. What can she do? What energy is left in her legs as Loughborough are well clear, but Boffey racing down on Bath. Loughborough, Birmingham and Bath, 1, 2, 3 across the line. 1:38.95 is on the clock. What a thrilling final, and well, Bath were looking to challenge Loughborough at one point, but that changeover really scuppered things from their point of view. So a number of these universities able to call on international experience, including that of Natasha Harrison and Isabel Boffey. Let's have another look here. Well, it was the waiting and waiting in order to pass that baton, which must be passed inside that box. Isabel Boffey, though, just look at the speed at which she came through. Looks like Darcy Kuipers then trying to get Brunel into contention, but it was too late by that point. Magnificent from Isabel Boffey, though. So Loughborough will look to be the winning team. We'll wait and see whether that race result is confirmed. We've got the medal ceremony there. Remy Adebayo in the centre for Bath, following that 1500 metre final. Did so well to hold on. So Adebayo, Hennigan and Keane, those medalists. This is Mantas Likis going at 2 metres and 14 now, the Lithuanian. So here representing Glasgow. They picked up a medal a little earlier on through Eloise Walker, the middle distance runner. So the rest of the high jumpers watching on. Mantas Likis. Glasgow on top, Lithuania his shorts. So close, he knows he nearly had it. One more go for him. But we understand that the race result has not been confirmed from the women's 4x2, so wait a minute for that. But the men are out for their relay now. And we have seen some real ding-dong battles over the years, some absolute mess as well, particularly in 2014 when the Cardiff Met team seemed to be doing breaststroke during the changeover and falling all over the place. UEL the same, but Emmanuel Sassagna, I was talking to yesterday, saying that UEL seemed to have improved their relays, and most teams trying to get a combination of 60-metre sprint pace and maybe 400-metre strength and a bit of endurance there to be able to hold on in this rarely run 4x200 metres. Unfortunately, UEL not qualifying, and qualification was based on times. I think there were as many as 7 different heats. So qualification pretty tough. So in this men's 4x200 metre final, we'll have Sheffield right on the inside, and then Brunel in lane 2, Bath in 3, Cardiff Met in 4, Loughborough in 5, and Sheffield Hallam in 6. Well, Sheffield Hallam won 26.4, among the most impressive yesterday, the fastest time overall. I wondered whether they were the best sort of team unit, as it were. Maybe some of the other universities having great individual quality and the opportunity just to switch and change and bring some people in depending on how they fared individually today. But Sheffield Hallam maybe putting out their best 4 set of athletes and making sure they qualified. They've done so very well, and that means that their lane draw is perhaps best right on the outside there. Loughborough have the sort of quality of maybe Charlie Dobson, who set that championship record in the 60 metres. Well, just looking down, and Charlie isn't there, but Chris Jones I think is. I think Cardiff Met actually have Joe Breyer here, who raced at the Muller Indoor Grand Prix Glasgow yesterday. I saw him knocking around on Friday. So here we are with this final. Sheffield, Brunel, Bath, Cardiff Met, Loughborough and Sheffield Hallam. The last action of these BUCS 2020 Indoor Athletics Championships. So the gun goes for a final time in Sheffield. The roar of the crowd, one of the loudest that we've heard so far. Look at those all along the back straight with a ringside seat here as Aaron Owen, the 2019 Welsh Indoor Champion, gets Cardiff Met underway. Hallam blasting down the straight here as they hand over nicely. Loughborough athlete coming in a bit hot there, and Brunel, not sure what happened to their changeover, but plenty of time to recover. That looks like the decathlete Harry Hillman for them, trying to get into contention. Sheffield Hallam then proving to have the same sort of form from yesterday's heat as Bath, maybe just tiring a little bit. Can Cardiff Met do anything about that? Nice shot showing all of the changeovers back there, and there was a Bath runner in the way for a moment. Alex Haydock-Wilson now on this third leg for Loughborough. Can he make up much progress? Sheffield Hallam well in the clear. Is it all over and done with? One more leg to go. Great speed there from Loughborough. Can they close up to the back? of Sheffield Hallam. 100 metres remaining. Pumping down the back straight then. Looks like Joe Breyer for Cardiff Met. Hallam, Loughborough, Cardiff Met. No change. And what a result for Sheffield Hallam on home soil here at the English Institute of Sport. 125.17. So Hallam had a fantastic practice run yesterday, the fastest time of all, and that certainly paid dividends. Well, Haydock Wilson did a good job of getting Loughborough into second place, but they could go no higher. A wonderful victory for Sheffield Hallam, and so often because of the quality of some of the biggest universities like Loughborough, and those were the biggest reputations anyway. We see the same names at the top of the podium, but Sheffield Hallam doing a wonderful job there. Regan O'Connell just in the background, who competed in both the 60 and the 200 and now has a gold medal in the relay. So Tapley, Teska and Ziala, the women's high jump medalists. Medals presented by Sandra White. Well, incidentally, the race result has not been confirmed from the men's relay either. So just gives me confirmation and a chance to mention something I've just been handed, that Reynold Benigo in the men's long jump, 7.72, setting a new championship best performance. I believe that's the fourth that we've seen of the weekend. It included two 60-metre bests for Charlie Dobson and Cheyenne Evans-Gray of Loughborough and University of East London respectively. Jordan Kirby Polydor's 200-metre best was beaten by Andrew Morgan Harrison. It was blown out of the park, in fact. So Alex Haydock Wilson and Chris Jones, Ben Paris, they're celebrating for Loughborough at the moment. We'll wait and see what the confirmed results are. Just going back to that long jump result, because it was Reynold Benigo 7.72 for Nottingham Trent on the podium, from Ben Fisher of Loughborough 7.07 and Callum Henderson of Edinburgh 6.91 in third place. Apologies for not mentioning that result whilst they were on the podium, because it only just had that information, and frankly there's a lot to keep on track of, and I hope we've done a good job across the track and the field keeping up with everything that's been going on. Some other results from earlier, so confirmation of Holly Bradshaw's championship best, so maybe making that 5 across the weekend. 4.65 in the pole vault. Ellen McCartney 4 metres for Brunel, and then Megan Bailey of Exeter 3 metres and 80. In the women's B final of that pole vault, Elizabeth Henshaw and Megan Jenkins could not be separated at 3.60, so it went to count back with Henshaw coming first in that B final, and Rhiannon Main of Swansea back on 3 metres. So Henshaw and Jenkins were quite clear above the rest. We had an unusual situation a few years ago where Jess Judd, based on a seeded time in the 5,000 metres, was in the B final and was quicker than the A final, and as a result took the gold medal, but those B final heights are not enough to challenge the medals on this occasion. Amy Griffiths, another winner for Loughborough, this time in the 1500 metres. 4:22.88 was given as the official time from Emily Simpson. 4:24.32 and 2/10 back was Eloise Walker. So there we are. Joe Breyer, he's had a busy weekend, but competing here for Cardiff Met in the relay, so we're waiting to find out who the confirmed medalists will be. Sheffield Hallam, fastest to qualify in the men's relay, and then crossing the line first. Isabel Boffey treating herself to a post-race banana following the 400 gold and, well, we think relay silver, but we're waiting to find out. Hannah Breyer in conversation with Natasha Harrison, and can't get a clear sight, but looks like her could be Shannon Malone. So it's been a rather busy day of finals today. The temperature has gone up quite a few notches. There's been colour, drama, excitement, and plenty of different names on the podium in terms of universities, colleges, institutions being represented. And some new colleges that I hadn't heard before, or seen before at BUCS, including Writtle College, Mackay Malanga, and University of Highlands and Islands, represented by Stephen Mackay, the Scottish middle distance runner. And plenty of athletes doing different events to which they're used to. Has been another big story, including Kevin Metzger, the triple jumper, who featured in the 400 metre final. Of course, Izzy Boffey, the 800 metre European Under-20 champion, who was in the 400 and the 4x2 relay. And well, the list continues really. Natasha Harrison, often 400, but here doing 2. Hannah Kelly the opposite. So the huddles down by the start-finish line as we await confirmed results of those relays. So the officials, in fact, having a look at footage as well, so it could be a few minutes before things are settled. So hashtag BUCS Nationals on Twitter. Let us know what's been your favourite performance of the weekend. Well, no news has come through. Let's have a look at BUCS Nationals hashtag on Twitter. So Gateshead Harriers, the club of Jasmine Moss, saying what a race from her 200 metre champion with a new PB. Let's give that one a like. University of Birmingham Athletics Club, bronze for Tom Keane. Had to go to a photo finish, but well deserved for the first year, so he's a fresher after a determined run. And track captain, in fact, Izzy Boffey in her second year at Birmingham University, anchoring the quartet of Hannah Kelly, Hannah Jones, Lauren Butler to a terrific silver medal. Well, yeah, well, we're waiting of confirmation of that, of course. So not wanting to get too much ahead of ourselves, because you never know. We saw Remy Adebayo throwing himself towards his first 1500 metre BUCS national goals, so BUCS have put up a highlight clip of that on Twitter. And the craziest end to a race you will ever see, results for a Brunel gold as Callum Dodds crossed the line first in the 800. Andrew Morgan Harrison then of Hull snatching a gold medal and smashing the championship best in the men's 200 metres. So just having a look at some of the changeovers then before we can confirm the results. And of course, so many other sports happening across the weekend, including badminton in this building. Sally Dobson saying, what a men's 200 metre final. Congrats to Andrew Morgan Harrison, that race I just mentioned. Sally Dobson may well be a relative of Charlie Dobson. Confirmation of the full result of the women's high jump then. Laura Ziala of Birmingham, 1 metre 81 in the end. She did attempt 1 metre 84. Anna Kateska of Brunel, 175, and the same height for Hannah Tapley of Cardiff Met, who took bronze. Carmen Neat of Loughborough was outside of the medals on 172, and then 3 athletes on 169. Anna Macaulay, Bernice Colson and Sarah Connolly. So what's your performance of the day? Hashtag BUCS Nationals on social media. Is it Isabel Buffy? Is she unstoppable? 800 metre specialist, adding the 400 metre title to her collection. Holly Mills, the European under-20 long jump medalist and heptathlete, achieving an indoor PB in the shot put of 12.53 metres. Give that one a like. Darcy Kuipers making it through to 2 finals this weekend, and Brunel teammate Jordan Aki Sawyer claiming the silver medal in the men's triple jump. He did everything in the last round to try and improve, and getting a 14.71, but couldn't quite eclipse Henry Clarkson. So still, they're looking at the photo finish. We will endeavour to wait for the results here. So we saw Sheffield Hallam come first in the men's relay, and Loughborough in the women's. So it's been a great championships, and we've seen Holly Bradshaw set a new championship record, and great to have an athlete of her calibre doing part-time studying at Loughborough, and also focusing her attention on making the Olympic Games this year and competing with the world's best. So the hard-working volunteers just beginning to pack away a little as we wait for the results, and they're being looked at again and again from different angles. Leslie Chalmers, mother of Cameron Chalmers, I do believe, saying that championship record was special in the men's 200 metres from Morgan Harrison, Andrew Morgan Harrison of Hull, 20.66, half a second faster than Jordan Kirby Polidor, the championship best performance holder from 2013 previously. And just in analysing why it's called the championship best performance rather than the championship record, I did ask about this, and it could be because it therefore includes wind-assisted outdoor times, which wouldn't therefore count as a record. Sometimes it can mean that records are incomplete or are only from a certain date or year from which they started to be kept, or sometimes it can mean, of course, are unofficial distances like age world bests, but these are official disciplines, shall we say, so quite possible that that's why it does include outdoor wind assisted times, or, well, in all, not 100% sure on that one. So in the background there you can see the medal presentation for the men's high jump. Stephen Zones of Manchester Met takes the bronze medal. .211 for Mantis Lakis. Kelechi Oguocha managing 2:14 for Loughborough, and he is the gold medalist. So the result, then we can now bring you, first of all, for the women's relay. So Bath and Brunel disqualified, and lengthy look at the footage by a number of officials. So that results in Cardiff Met taking that set of bronze medals, and then Isabel Boffey, Hannah Jones, Hannah Kelly and Lauren Butler taking the silver medal for Birmingham. And then the women's 4x4, 4x2 even, 4x2 100-metre relay champions, Loughborough. So Natasha Harrison, and Hannah Breyer taking that gold. So the officials yet to look at the men's footage, so we will bring you that result in a few moments' time. So confirming the result then for the men's 4x200 metre relay. Cardiff Met get the bronze, Loughborough the silver, and Sheffield Hallam taking gold. UEL not qualifying for the final and waiting confirmation, but they were watching the replays for any obstructions because there was a Bath incoming runner that was on the inside of the track at one point, and also looked at Cardiff Met, but Cardiff Met keeping their place on the podium. And so that's the final result from these championships. The likes of Great Britain internationals Alex Haydock-Wilson and Joe Breyer on this podium. We've seen some wonderful quality, talent, drama, excitement. And here in Sheffield, the BUCS 2020 Indoor Athletics Championships has come to a close. A number of championship records, some scintillating performances. Hope you've enjoyed watching. I've been Alex Seftel, and to everyone here, from the officials, volunteers, the BUCS support staff, medical team, and of course every one of the track and field athletes, it's been a great competition. So glad that everyone has been part of it and made it a success. Thank you for watching, and good night.